Good morning, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. Today is the 9th of June, and the moon is in Scorpio, moving into Sag, I think around 10 or 11 a.m. this morning. I did have it in my mind, but it flew out. This is the flame honeysuckle as starting to bloom. It does. Somebody asked about, does it smell? It does, but not as, of course, not as greatly as the wild stuff does. Hi, Charlie. What's the matter? I got a lot to talk about, Charlie. Here, let me give you a pat. Got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of stuff happening today. All right, let's get started. And this is all wild roses, by the way, all that white. Wild roses all over the yard. Climbing hydrangea. And then take notice of all the roses that are opening. Okay, so we have a square between Mercury and Saturn this morning. Squares are crisis producing. Saturn is always an energy that you feel like you're being held back. So there's a sense of not having your voice heard or having to struggle for your voice to be heard. We also today have a square between Pluto and Venus, another crisis-producing energy. Venus is about what we value and what we love, and Pluto is a planet of control. And so there is a sense of trying to be controlled, perhaps going against what is important to us. And so it's about fighting for what is important and what is of value to you. We also have a square between Mercury and Neptune. And Neptune and Saturn, which Mercury had the square earlier in the morning, are very close to each other. They're within about a degree. They're moving together in the sign of Aries. Aries is an energy of something new, a new situation, a new challenge, perhaps. Aries is challenge. Aries, as the first sign of the zodiac, is about becoming. So there's something rising up, becoming, right, at this time. The problem with Mercury and Neptune is that there can be confusion, there can be lying, and so all of this is pretty much the perfect storm for really what's going on in LA right now. And so if you live in Los Angeles, if you live in any of the places, and the blue states are getting attacked. Massachusetts has been getting attacked by ice, and of course California, and this is all about power over and misuse of power. So it is a bit of a powder keg. And then the last thing that happens today is that Jupiter moves into Cancer. Jupiter has been in Gemini for about a year. Jupiter expands. Gemini is data, information, and also propaganda, actually. And so there's been a flood, flooding the zone, the whole flooding the zone thing. That's been going on, right? And but now as Jupiter moves into Cancer, Jupiter always expands what it touches, and Cancer is our feelings. It's self-protective, right? It's around family, it's around clan. It can be tribal. We just have to understand who our tribe is, right? And here in America, we are our tribe. Doesn't matter what state you're in. If you're an American, you live under the same constitution. And yet the people in charge aren't too thrilled with the Constitution, right? So, in charge, I'll put that in quotes, because they're barely in charge of their own bowels. So, with Jupiter moving into Cancer, there's an increase in compassion. There's an increase in care. There's an increase in our empathy. Now, the interesting thing about whenever any planet moves into Cancer, it's disposited by the moon. And we thought when Jupiter was in Gemini, it was disposited by Mercury. So Mercury was sort of like holding the reins. And Mercury, changes signs anywhere from every 2.5 weeks to 6 weeks, depending on whether it's retrograde or it's moving forward. 6 weeks if it's retrograde. But the moon, which disposits this Jupiter, changes every 2.5 days. And so you think it was wacky before, it's definitely going to get more emotionally charged, and we just have to remember who we are. There's some my peonies down there. Michael and I want to move this peony bush because of the hydrangea here, which is sort of taken over the corner. But we can see this hydrangea is starting to get its flowers. And this one changes almost every day, it seems. Just like it's going to feel when Jupiter's in Cancer. But Jupiter in Cancer, the United States has Jupiter in Cancer. And so we're going to have a Jupiter return. So it's not all bad news. We just have to choose to focus on that which is going to bring us closer together instead of further apart. And I do believe now that Jupiter's out of Gemini, there's a better chance of us coming closer together. There's some cosmos here, and check out it's just starting to bloom. This is the lavender, which I put here for my sister. It was her favorite flower. And every day that I walk outside and see it, I think of her. I love my sister Patty in heaven. Okay, and a special shout out to my gal pal from high school, my best friend, one of my best friends in high school, Melinda. Happy birthday, Melinda. Welcome to, I'm not there yet almost, but welcome to your 64th year. All right, guys, take care, everyone. Have a great day. Despite everything I said, we're going to be okay. We just have to remember that we are each other's brothers and sisters keepers. Let's take care of each other until this maniac goes a little bit too far and is done for. And that will happen. It will happen. This is not the future. This is a bump in the road that we have to figure out how to move through. Right, Charlie? He's like, yes, Mama. Yes, you're always right. All right, guys, have a great day. It smells like roses here. I wish you were here to smell it. If you're in the neighborhood, come and take a sniff. All right, much love. Namaste.